Okay, so welcome back to the second part of the biasing thing here. Turns out we had to go in there. It's been a couple of weeks, I guess, since we biased everything to factory specs over the last couple of weeks. I guess we got maybe 60 hours on these tubes now, which is pretty good. Gentle break-in. And it turns out when you crank the amp up, it was getting distorted and saturated, which means it was outside the bias parameters. So we went in and rebiased everything. Turns out what you got to do is get these things really hot. You turn up all the outputs and crank them all up. Crank out all the outputs. Let it warm up, like, 3, 4, 5 minutes, whatever it is. And then you check the bias. And then you set it at 23 after you set everything back down. And then when it cools off, the bias should be at about 21.5, okay? And then you crank everything back up, check it again, it should be at about 24.5. All right, so you're averaging 23, okay? And so it's kind of weird how you got to do these things. All right, it's a very unique animal. But anyway, just when I thought it couldn't sound any better, now that I have these things dialed in correctly, they do drift. Like I say, they drift whatever it is, 1.5 volts in either direction. So they'll drift up, 3 volts from 21.5 to 24.5. But you're averaging from hot to cold 23, and so far it's working. So that's a little brain food for you. But anyway, here's what we got. I mean, I thought, like I said, when you think it can't get any better. Both channels bright and normal, 2 o'clock output, 2 o'clock, it's like 9 watts. That setting because it gives me a really good clean volume, and I can get dirty if I want, with the pedals or whatever else. But yeah, it's pretty loud at 9. That's the guitar at like 7-ish. I mean, just very very defined, still gritty, still dirty. That's kind of like the perfect clean volume for this room. Okay, now we're getting up around 8.5, 9-ish. We're getting into breakup territory. This is the guitar time that I'm strumming it very lightly. Neighbors are home. Now you may not be able to hear like the nuances. Of course, it's a phone. But if you've got some good headphones or 7.1 speaker system like I got on my computer, yeah, it sounds really, really good. Just warm and defined, quiet. And back to you, Bob. Almost. My camera work is legendary. Yeah, it's pretty good. We can live it. Now, a little more guitar. Let's give you a little smooch of guitar. Okay, yeah, there we go. But these tubes sound so good, and the carbon copy is gorgeous. The whole thing, everything's good. That's just guitar. I've been playing through just guitar and just the amp for like 3 days now. Ever since we got this thing dialed in, it sounds that good. just without pedals. Guitar and amp, total bypass. How you doing? Still going.